Yo guys, what is up? I'm Chance, this is Coffee with Chance, and just to remind you, on this channel, I'm going to be going over everything that has to do with coffee, because when I entered the scene about a year and a half ago, I looked at coffee for a good second. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is impossible. Half the time, I'm still looking at coffee, I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? This is impossible. But the other half of the time, I'm getting it down for the most part, and my hope is that I could bring that to you guys, just to overall make coffee more understandable, easier, and more enjoyable as an experience, because coffee is a great thing, and I don't think that its quality should be diminished by people not knowing how to properly brew it. So today we're going to be reviewing Stumptown coffee roasters, and more specifically their Guatemalan Injerto Bourbon blend. And one thing I like about Stumptown coffee is their practices, and one of those is direct trade. They practice this with every one of their coffee cultivators, meaning that they are constantly building strong relationships with these coffee producers, accommodating to every one of their needs, making sure that they have an incentive to produce the best quality coffee for us. And that speaks leaps and bounds about Stumptown, because it shows how much they care about the end quality of their products and the lives of their coffee cultivators. So let's get into it, guys. So yeah, as I said, this is the Guatemala Injerto Bourbon blend, and it is grown in the Huehuetenango department of western Guatemala. And the operation that is producing this coffee is ran by Arturo Aguirre Sr. and Jr., and they are known to have the best growing operation in Colombia because of how much they emphasize the lives of their coffee cultivators. For example, they just started this hydro plant which supplies local water to local villages and all of their coffee cultivating operations. In addition, they've opened up clinics, schools, food processing plants, and housing for all of their coffee cultivators, providing more incentive for them to provide the best quality beans. And let me reiterate, that is something that a lot of these coffee companies should start looking into, because it's one of those rare win-win situations where honestly I know a lot of people that would not mind paying an extra $5 to get better quality coffee beans. Alright, let's look at it though. So one thing I was reading about on the Stumptown website is they say that all of their coffees are pretty much medium blend, because they roast it just enough to bring out all of the best qualities in it. And what that's telling me is they don't specifically label all of their coffees for what roast they are, but looking at these beans now, I'd say that these are definitely a medium, but a lighter medium blend, and that, or a lighter medium roast, and that's because of the very light inner brown layer and gray layer. That's just showing me that they didn't spend a lot of time in the roaster, and they wanted to preserve a lot of that caffeine and the distinguished flavors inside of the bean that would be extracted if they had roasted it longer and masked by a fuller body flavor. One thing I also have to mention while brewing this coffee is the color of the brew itself is a very light, thin brown, so you can tell that it isn't going to be that full-bodied, but more it's going to be represented by those individual distinguished flavors that complement each other. Yeah guys, let's take a sniff and I will see you on the other side. So one of the reasons why I bought this coffee is because on the front of the bag it says that the aroma is highlighted by mandarin orange and milk chocolate, and that caught my attention because I don't really go into coffee looking for the taste of mandarin orange and milk chocolate. I'm like, this either has to be a hit or a miss. And right now, what I can tell you is they pretty much describe this chocolate perfectly. Like, when I smell it, the first thing that it makes me think of is sweet citrus and notes of cocoa. But one other note that I think they messed out just personally was caramel. And it's not like just straight caramel cubes, but it's more of like a kettle corn type of aroma to it. Something you get at a fair or circus, very light. And yeah, that's just one thing I have to say. They're like, they probably go more in depth about the flavor profiles on the website, but more than anything, the caramel is present in the aroma of the brew, more than the mandarin orange and more than the milk chocolate. But yeah, let's see exactly how it tastes, because that is the most important part, guys. Now that I'm tasting it, I know exactly what they mean. So, the difference between smelling it and tasting it is all in the caramel. The caramel is very characterized in the smell, whereas the taste is very characterized by those notes of mandarin orange, and milk chocolate. There is still a little note of caramel, but it is very subtle compared to how present it was in the aroma of the brew. Yeah, let's take another sip. For a lighter medium roast, this is a very smooth coffee. Yeah, the full experience is right as it touches the mouth, it's very smooth, highlighting those notes of cocoa, then the mandarin orange, and then once you swallow it, you begin to have more of an aftertaste of caramel, and that's where that buzz from the acidity begins to arise, right as you swallow it, and the remnants of the coffee just sit in your mouth for a second. It's odd, all of the flavors become a little more distinguished with every sip. But yeah, guys, so my rating for this coffee, honestly, I'd have to give this about a 95 out of 100. This is definitely one of the better light medium roast that I have tasted. And that's because it brings such an interesting combination of flavors, and it really stood out because of that role reversal when you brew the coffee, because the difference is almost night and day with the aroma compared to the taste. The aroma is really highlighted by that caramel, where the taste is very highlighted by that sweet citrus and chocolate notes. So yeah, this is definitely a coffee I would recommend if you're looking for something new, and if you just want to try something from Stumptown, because I reiterate, they are a very reputable coffee roaster and they're one of the best in the game. So yeah, guys, that's it for me. This is the Guatemala Injerto Bourbon Blend. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks again.